I'm speaking in my capacity of former human rights, the chief of Human Rights Office of UNAMI, and the SRG, the Special Representative's advisor on Ashraf-related issues. And I started the process that we hear about today. And I could tell you, and my statements are part of now public record, that the real objectives that are not announced are very cynical. I will not go into details, but my colleagues, former colleagues at the United Nations, they know very well the true objectives of the process of relocation. So, knowing that, I did warn that further attacks will take place and further deaths will take place. And at the United Nations, we are still praising the Special Representative or Secretary General for doing what he is doing. And I take the opportunity today, because as I think I dwelt quite well on the issue yesterday, but I just want to mention that I recently sort of stumbled into the personal assistant of Mr. Kobler just by accident. And meeting a former colleague, it's normal that we discuss certain issues off record just as a former colleagues. And I did say to him that you have badly failed in this mission, and you have failed the Ashrafis. And that it's time now that you hand over this process to the real mandated UN agency, which is the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. I also said that the true objectives of the relocation, this is a discussion with a colleague of mine, that he knows and I know what are the true objectives of the relocation and the true objective of putting people in a prison-like Camp Liberty. And also all the doctrine of the reports and the pictures we manufactured in UNAMI. So he knows all that. And I said to him, look, it's time for you to hand over the file to the UNHCR. And unfortunately, he went and reported to SRG Kobler, and straight away he came back to me, invited me for a meeting, which I said this meeting should take place with the representatives of the Ashrafis and their lawyers. I am not a lawyer to represent the Ashrafis, so there is nothing for me to discuss with Mr. Kobler. Straight away, about half an hour, he came back to me and asked me for lunch. Again, I apologized that I can't have lunch because I have nothing to discuss on this matter. And probably the same day, he wrote to the leadership, the MEK leadership, telling them that further to the very good conversation my personal assistant had with Mr. Tahar Boumedra, he wants to further the discussion directly with the leadership. This is, again, to give you an example how things have been manipulated and how persistent Mr. Kobler is in manipulating the whole situation. I really think that it's time now that those who are mandated by the General Assembly of the United Nations, which is the UNHCR, to take this matter in hand and to address the situation of the Ashrafis far away from the political manipulation that we have witnessed. The UNHCR is a humanitarian organization. It should do its job as a humanitarian job. And those who want to address this issue with political objectives, I think it's time to hand over because crimes have been committed. And I could tell you that the attack on July 2009 and the attack of 2011, the April 2011, I was the person who went there on fact-finding missions and did the body counts. And I really think that we should never tolerate again for any UN personnel to go and do again body counts, whether in Ashraf or in Liberty. Time to stop this, time to hand it over to the mandated organization, which is the UNHCR. I thank you very much for your attention.